Okay, think about that piggy bank you might have, maybe sitting on a shelf collecting dust. What if I told you that little guy holds the secret to building real wealth and a much stronger mindset? Sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, today we're diving into a fascinating plan that, get this, supposedly came directly from a talking piggy bank. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's get into it.
So just imagine your piggy bank starts talking one day, and this is the first thing it says. Whoa! See, it's not about waiting for some lucky break or a lottery win to fall out of the sky. It's about a totally different philosophy. It's about the incredible power of small, consistent daily growth.
All right, so let's officially meet our guide for today. We're calling it Shout Ju, which is basically a mashup of Piggy and AI. This super smart piggy bank apparently devoured the book Just Keep Buying and boiled it all down to one core powerful idea. You don't build wealth by waiting around for some huge pile of cash to make a move. Nope. It's all about acting continuously, little by little, day after day. And that idea immediately brings us to the first, and maybe the biggest, mental hurdle that the piggy bank's plan helps us clear. It's a roadblock we have all been stuck at, that feeling of paralysis. You know the one, where you're just waiting and waiting and waiting until you feel perfectly ready to actually start. This slide just nails it, doesn't it? On one side, you have the waiting mindset. That's the voice in your head saying, oh, I'll totally start learning English just as soon as I've completely mastered math, science, and history. And what's the result? You never, ever start. But then look at the other side, the action mindset. It's so simple. I will read for 5 minutes every single day. It's small, it's achievable, and that right there is where real progress is born. You know, the key thing to realize is that waiting isn't free. It has a huge cost. Think of it like this. While you're standing on the platform, trying to pack your bags perfectly and get everything just right, the opportunity train has already pulled out of the station at full speed. Starting now, even with the smallest step, is what gets you on board. And this whole waiting for perfection mindset doesn't just apply to learning new skills. It gets even more dangerous when we start talking about investing. It creates that classic trap, the temptation to become some kind of market fortune teller, trying to perfectly predict all the highs and lows. So this leads to the big, scary question, right? The one that gives so many people anxiety. What should you do when the market dips? The charts go red, panic starts to set in, and your first instinct is probably to pull back, to wait it out. But our talking piggy bank, well, it sees things very, very differently. And here it is. This is the crucial mindset shift. A market dip isn't a monster coming to eat your savings. It's a massive container sale. I mean, just let that sink in. It's brilliant. You're not under attack. You're being offered a discount. The very assets you wanted to own are now on sale. This single reframe turns a moment of fear into a moment of pure opportunity. Look, when you're trying to find that perfect moment to buy, you don't become an investor, you just become a master of waiting. And the data on this is so clear, being in it for the long haul, just participating consistently, beats jumping in and out every time. It really comes down to a simple guarantee. If you're not in the game, you have exactly zero chance of winning. Okay, so the mindset is starting to click. Stop waiting, start doing, see market dips as a sale. Got it. But how do we actually do it? How do we make this a real part of our lives? Well, this next section is all about turning this whole philosophy into concrete, repeatable habits for everyone, from kids in a classroom to your entire family. Here's a really cool classroom activity called the growth jar. It's super simple. You get a jar, students add a small amount, like 10 yuan, every day. At the end of the month, they count it all up. But here's the key. The magic is in step 4. They have to sit down and write about what they learned from the process of those small, daily additions. And this is the real payoff. This reflection from a student just says it all. I'm not waiting to become strong. I'm becoming strong by doing. Wow. It was never really about the money in the jar, was it? It was about this profound light bulb moment, this realization that strength or skill or wealth isn't something you wait for. It's something you build day by day through the simple act of doing. And you can take this exact same idea home with a family mission. Forget about giant, vague goals. Instead, pick one tiny micro goal each week. Maybe it's learning one new recipe or walking an extra kilometer together. Then you document it with photos, and at the end of the month, you celebrate with a small victory party. You're not just achieving little goals, you're building a whole family culture around continuous action and progress. So after all of this, These mindset shifts, the growth jars, the family missions. What's the ultimate goal? What are we really building here? This brings us right to the heart, the core takeaway of the piggy bank's entire secret plan. Let's be absolutely clear. This has nothing to do with hot stock tips or get-rich-quick schemes. The real asset we're trying to build here is something way more valuable and way more durable. It's all about building a powerful mind. And this is it, your strongest asset. It's more valuable than any stock, any piece of property. It's a brain that is fundamentally wired for continuous action, a mind that doesn't default to waiting for the perfect moment, but defaults to doing. That is the real wealth that you're building. So let's bring this all home. We've gone through the mindset, we've talked about the habits, now it's time to talk about your very first small step. You know, we started with that book title, Just Keep Buying. But the real message, the bigger philosophy our piggy bank is teaching us, is this. Keep taking action. Don't just lie there and dream. That's not just about investing, that's a philosophy for life. It's a command to engage with the world, to build, to try, and to always keep moving forward. And so we end with one last question, straight from our talking piggy bank. This is your call to action. It's not about changing your entire life overnight. It's about one thing. What is the one small action you will take tomorrow to build a slightly better version of yourself? Think about it, and then go do it.